Hey people, Intro here, 2v2 faction battle. This is Fend Unlock and some Tau versus Chaos Space Marines. On the blue team, Toilailee and an Ethereal, a support hero fighting in melee, buffs his army with powerful auras, alongside Woof, also known as Alice, and Piano with an XV8 Crisis Commander, a ranged powerhouse with some utility. On the red team for the Chaos fellas, MrCrow and a Chaos Sorcerer, an offensive and disruptive hero with powerful battlefield manipulation and control. And we got some World Eater's elite scheme going on. Alongside the Tenso and a Plague Champion. Starts off with a damage of a time bolt gun, can get to melee weapons, debilitates enemies and supports allies, can also repair. And the Death Guard elite scheme here. We have a natural VP for the blue Tau team in the south, already maybe under pressure from those heretics. Now they're backing off. Natural for the Chaos fellas in the north, contested in the mid, and double fire warriors coming in for Toilailee. Huge amount of ranged firepower so quickly, over 12 DPS per model, and if you get their veterans upgrade, that takes them up over tactical marine DPS, I would think, because it's 10%, isn't it? And you get two of them. If you get two fire warriors and pathfinders and an XV8 shooting at basically anything in tier 1 that's out of cover, it's going to be in trouble. And they have that photon grenade, of course, the pathfinders. Those pathfinders getting messed up. The fire warriors also have 200 hit points per model, which is not too shabby. There's that photon grenade, slowing down the Chaos Sorcerer. This is the 1.1 release of the alpha, by the way, so there have been some adjustments. Fire warriors should no longer have that flat damage increase against marker lighted units. Also a bunch of other fixes and tweaks and adjustments. For those that don't know, this is a separate alpha release for Tau in Elite mod. A lot of people have been confused in the comments downloading the Elite mod and not seeing the Tau in there. It's a separate download. You need to head to the mod DB page, which you can find in the Discord. Plague Champion with the Mucus Discharge in, with the Breath of Nurgle heal. Oh, it's double fire warriors also for Piano now. Perhaps considered going straight into a tier 1.5 and instead got those fire warriors up. Here come some Kroot Carnivores for Toilailee. Maybe I'll get to see the Honor Blade used alongside them, which buffs units on hit with more damage and some health regen. I think it'd be quite fun to use alongside Kroot Carnivores, but we'll see. It's also power melee, which is good against all this heavy infantry armor. We've got double CSM for the Tenso. Double Eternal War maybe, or do I think he's going to want a tier 1.5 next, perhaps some Havocs. We got Noise Marines in play for MrCrow. They could be amazing if they can get in range with enough hit points against these double fire warriors, well, quad fire warriors, I guess, but double in terms of what Toilailee has. Oh hey, we got the fragmentation launcher thing. Was expecting the plasma up in tier 2. We'll see how this thing does. Didn't do too well on that shot, but those guys were moving it. And if we get some Mark of Khorne CSM here, it will struggle to hit them as they're charging in. But here comes some Kroot Carnivores. Power melee squad. 6 models leaping in there, and they get cacophonied immediately. I think they gave the Carnivores Howling Banshee voices. Why? Why give them any voice? It's so bizarre. Pretty sure they have Howling Banshee voices. Chaos Sorcerer gets revived. Looks like he's got Vestments of the Warp. Yep. Toilailee also getting Vespid Stingwings. So maybe Piano's looking for a quick tier 2. Toilailee is going for a heavy tier 1. Something you'll often see in 2v2s. Havocs are on the field with a heavy bolter. And there comes the Eternal War. So double Eternal War CSM with the Plague Champion alongside. Should be able to shoot down some stuff pretty well. Will they trade with the Fire Warriors though, especially if these guys get their veterans upgrade? Here we go. These guys have it already. 10% more health and damage. And they get the, I'm not sure how you meant to say it, Toilailee, which ignores cover with a slower fire rate. Seems quite nice. That's before all these ethereal buffs. Got that passive aura giving 5% damage resist and 10% hit points, which is why these Fire Warriors have 880 hit points here, because they're in his passive aura. And he can boost that up, triggering the unifying mantra to boost those by a further 10% each. There's those Vespid Stingwings then. 4 models, 250 hit points each. And they can jump the Havocs pretty effectively. There we go. 25 DPS or so. And they're in there. They can focus fire them down quite well, and the Heretics should do quite well against them as well, with the Aspiring Champion in there. Two Carnivores jumping around. The XV8 has got the armored battlesuit. Oh, so now he can jump and knock stuff down, which is very handy. So he can knock down some Heretics maybe who are chasing something, or just mess up double CSM who are bunched up. Plague Champion using that Breath of Nurgle heal. Maybe worth getting his fetid armor here with 2 melee squads on the field. There's that jump. You can also jump. You can also suppress the XV8 with it when he jumps in. Make him shoot less. Is it worth? Yeah, it must be worth going into melee with this guy. That was a painful hit. It does shoot quite slowly, but it's nasty, that thing. Although, as I said, I did expect him to save that War Gear slot for the Plasma Rifle in Tier 2. Maybe he thinks he's got enough anti-heavy infantry stuff, because the Fire Warriors can get their Pulse Rifles, which are Inferno PvP damage, and they can get their Chasui squad leader, who's got like 16 Inferno DPS just himself. And the other guys, if they get their Pulse Rifles, they get like 12 odd each. And you get their Guardian drone, and you've got that Toilailee. They both have the veterans now in Keanu's army. Not for Toilailee though. Spent his power on the Crew Carnivores and the Vespid Stingwings. No sign of the Honor Blade. 399 to 447. Some Tzeentchian worship. Not seen much action on the sides to go for the powers yet. Maybe I've just been blind to it. There's some Tzeentchian worship helping those Noise Marines perhaps approach. Although the Pathfinders do have their squad leader. I don't know what that fella's called. But he can spot stuff. There's a jump. Oh, look at that. The XV8 jumping in alongside the Vespid Stingwings to get that knockback. And it looks like the Ethereal has given those guys a drone to give them 15% damage resist. It's kind of like a lesser version of the Guardian drone that the Fire Warriors can get. Here we see the Ethereal alongside the Crew Carnivores using the Unifying Mantra, but he doesn't have that Honor Blade. You see his energy being drained by the Unifying Mantra there. And since the Honor Blade's effects are all passive, it won't mess with his energy. Fire Warriors. Oh, he's in Tier 2. Piano. Just got the Chasui leader there, look. So they are pumping out huge amounts of damage now. And that's without their Pulse Rifles. Looks like Piano dropped his Pathfinders in there. Bunch of dead Vespid Stingwings. When they jumped in earlier alongside the Crisis Commander, we did see the Heretics do good work against them, I think. We got some Bloodletters up. Not expecting that. Aspiring Champions coming in. He must be tempted to get double Mark of Khorne here. And then we may see a Greater Narlock to fight them or something, or perhaps just some heavy gun drones with suppression stuff. Red team taking the mid back then. They might see a Nurgle Shrine back here perhaps. Havocs are set up. They're going to get Vespid jumped, of course, or maybe the commander himself will jump them. Bloodletters jumping on the terrified Pathfinders who back away. But can the Crisis Commander hit any of this stuff that's running in melee? Doesn't seem like it. Looks like both of these Fire Warriors now have their Guardian drones, so now they're taking 20% flat damage until that drone is destroyed. You can maybe try to pick it out with certain abilities. Here comes a whole bunch of Unifying Mantra buffed Tau fellas. Vesper's jumping in. That suppression on landing. Suppressed 3 units there, I think. Crew Carnivores. It does get suppressed by the Plague Champion? No, I think it was just the Havoc Burst that suppressed them. Now the Crisis Commander jumped in, of course. Oh yeah, it was pointed out to me that Vespid's, their sidearm, well I guess their gun, does Inferno PvP damage, like 9, almost 10 DPS. It's not bad, I guess. Because Inferno does extra versus this heavy infantry. I was actually surprised how much range damage Raptors do with their sidearms. I knew they did more melee damage than the Submarines, but they do more damage on their pistols too. Over 10 DPS on Raptors. Quite nice. Bloodletters, they could chop up the Ethereal pretty effectively. Oh, he's got a weapon. I didn't get the Honor Blade. He got the Equalizers. Equalize is really powerful. It lowers speed and damage by 30% for 15 seconds, I believe. Really good debuff, but I was really hoping to see the Honor Blade up. Here comes a Devilfish for Woof. Do we have Mark of Corn? We do have double Mark of Corn. I wonder if we've seen that yet. If Piano spotted that, because the Devilfish does have that thing where it's Fletchette or something that can suppress units. Could be under threat though, because they did buff that Melter Pistol a few updates ago, and it's quite nice now. Did it tell me here? Is it 7.8 Melter DPS? I thought they buffed it above that. There we go, there's that Fletchette to suppress them. But this thing could be in trouble if it doesn't keep moving. Trying to get the smart missile system now, which means that these little gun drones ignore cover. You know what? I think it's done for. It's done for. The double Mark of Corn fellas are going to get it. Down goes the Tau Commander. Crisis Commander, I should say. The Devilfish blows up. Oopsie, says Piano. Oh, we get the proper wreck for it now. Nice. I wonder if they manage to have the Greater Narlock body stay on the field for a bit. Would be fun. But I guess, you know, Khan effects don't. But they tend to... They explode. Oh, wait. We're getting one. Greater Narlock on the way. That's going to be very fun to see against double Mark of Corn CSM. He's kind of specialized against infantry, this guy, because he regenerates health if he kills an infantry model. You can also get an upgrade that allows him to charge and stuff. Vespids. Oh, they didn't get the suppression there. But they flee from all that melee. Not sure what the visual effect for Equalize is. Maybe we can spot it. Here's the Greater Narlock. Love the model on this guy. With the Space Marine helm on that side. Orc head on the other side. A big chunk of meat over there too. So he does heavy melee splash damage. Comes out 400 rec and 100 power. Wait, why is he not in Toilailee's roster anymore? Some kind of UI bug with this fella. Here comes his upgrade. Unstoppable Beast. That also means he takes less damage when he's under half health, but he is taking huge amounts of it. There's a tank there. Can he charge out? I don't think his charge is very long range. There's a Noxious Cloud here. I think the Greater Narlock's going to go down without... I don't think he even hit anyone. The tank's going to chase him and get him. Down goes the Greater Narlock. That's 100 power, that guy. And he purchased the upgrade. I don't know how much that is. Probably 25. But Ali thinks it might be GG already. Mark of Corn CSM are level 2 and level 2. Bloodlet is still around. Still nothing else for the Plague Champion. I guess he just wants to meet the melee guys in a big old fight rather than suppress them with fetid armor or something. 275 to 359. Triple cap for the Tau, but can they recover from the losses? Devilfish down. And of course, that Greater Narlock down. We have a heavy gun drone in. That may be in response to the tanks. We'll see their missile pod, which seems to fire really quickly. Like way, way quicker than tactical marine missile launchers or a las cannon. I guess the damage is adjusted for such a fire rate. Pathfinder's hanging out here. Yeah, here it comes. Missile drone on the way. Yeah, attacks really quickly and it can keep things snared a lot. Seems really strong. Sorcerer's got the Rod of Warp Fire. And of course the Vestments of the Warp. There's that missile launcher. It's not going to hit the Plague Champion very reliably. I still don't see the pulse rifles on the Fire Warriors. What about these guys? Oh, we see it on these guys. You see those longer rectangular weapons. So Piano's got double. So huge amounts of Inferno PvP damage on those guys. And that's before possible buffs from the Ethereal, because he can get a bunch of invocations that boost his aura, which I won't be able to see on the unit card here. Crisis Commander can't get the decap. Vespids get in there. Maybe he should have waited for that Vespid jump, eh? Nurgle Shrine coming in. There's the Mark of Corn CSM to counter-initiate good special immediately. And they are messing them up. You'd expect them to win that fight. It's a dedicated melee squad. Vespids are a jump troop. You expect the Mark of Corn CSM to win against jump troops, typically. Now they leave, though. So it's definitely double pulse carbines on you guys. Pulse rifles, pulse carbines, I can't remember what the terminology is. Troop carnivores now have their troop shaper guy in there. With those, I think he's got like 40 power melee DPS by himself. Pretty tasty. Those dual weapons he's got. They don't have the thrill of the hunt though. No thrill of the hunt on those guys. Looks like the Stingwings have their strain leader too. Has around 40 regular melee DPS. And Chaos Terminators are in. Termies will die, says Piano. Seems quite confident. I mean, they can get a huge amount of good damage against that stuff. What is this? Oh, this must be the inhibitor drone or whatever it's called in the Pathfinders. Yeah, with that big movement debuff you saw there. They have a choice of a bunch of drones they can get. Are these both? Yeah, they're both anti-vehicle heavy drone fellas. There's the Nurgle Shrine. You going to repair it, guys? No? Maybe? There we go. Last Master on the Noise Marines and a Hammerhead coming in for Piano. Toilailee is lamenting his amount of squads because he's got a lot of upkeep at the moment. Wants to go broadsides. Why not? I mean, with double Markov Horn CSM, they could be in a bit of trouble because those guys can't retreat the broadsides. Neither can those crisis suits in tier 3, which is a lot goes towards their balance in a big way because they've got huge damage. If they can't retreat, they can get themselves in a bunch of trouble. These guys getting suppressed. Good placement on that Havoc. Best bids, where are you? There they are. There's the XV8. You can also jump them, of course. Oh, he's got the burst cannon on left arm now. Might have been a better choice to get the repulsor. You can get this repulsor thing that knocks back melee squads. There's a jump. Nicely timed. So you could jump in and then use the repulsor to knock them down again. He's just gone for some more DPS here. And still doesn't have the plasma rifle. Wants to spend it on other stuff, I guess. The Terminator's got the auto cannon. But there was a possibility they'd get the claws against all this melee stuff, but the auto cannon should allow them to get some, nice debuffs racking up. That demoralization. There's a Hammerhead. Oh, it's right there, dumbass. It's got this plasma cannon damage. It's got like Lehman Russ sounds when it fires. I feel like it should have like las cannon sounds or something. Here come the broadside. Oh, it's still pluralized. I thought they fixed that. It still says battle suits, even though it's a single entity. Not sure what the Crisis Commander was up to. Trying to finish something off. Oh, I thought maybe he finished off the Noise Marines, but they are still alive. Hammerhead can get that big, chunky railgun, but I think for now, keeping that plasma, that AoE plasma blast is pretty good. Hey, Crutox Riders on the way. It's cool fun to see. Although, will they get messed up by Markov Corner CSM that are leveled? They might, because those Crutox Riders only have regular infantry armor. It means they don't take extra damage from the chain axes, but they'll take full damage from them. Maybe they can mess them up with that thrashing ability they get. Some marker lights on the Plague Champion here, level 4. Been studiously just running around shooting stuff and healing, and then falling over dead. Why did I talk about him? I cursed him. Here's the broadside. Those big rail guns are good versus all targets. Massive firing range. But of course, they're quite ponderous and they can't retreat. They've got these missiles that fire as well, although they are shorter range than the big railgun. Hammerhead's going in, takes down the Chaos Predator there. I believe it was Mark of Nurgle, that thing. Blue teams seem a bit more confident again all of a sudden. Do we see any of the rail rifles on the Pathfinders? We don't. They are quite expensive. I think they're 30 power. Here's the Crutox Riders then. I think the devs are looking into scaling up their models slightly. The carnivores on the back are fine, but the actual Crutox fellas seem a little bit small, and seems like some people agree, so that I think they're going to look into that. I'm not sure how simple it is. Yeah, I guess they're kind of gorilla-y, aren't they? And those guns on top do autocannon damage, I think. Semi-decent amount, maybe? I think it's around... I think it's double-digit DPS, I think. Got to be pretty close to that, at least. Level 4 Ethereal with those equalizers. I've not noticed it being used. I'm not sure what the effect looks like. And a level 4 Crisis Commander. Done decently with that jump. There's those grab inhibitors again, messing up the Sorcerer. They're just kicking him now, are they? Teleports in, knocks him around. 1, 2, 3 to 300 on the VPs. Now we have the big railgun on the Hammerhead. Smaller area of effect, but greater range and damage to single targets. It's like a Vanquish upgrade that Lehman Russ can get, I guess. Great Unclean One on the way. Vespid Stingwings finding Havocs in a strange spot. Oh, we got some gun drones called in there. That's something the Ethereal can do. You can't reinforce these guys when they're dropped in, but you can retreat them. And I guess heal them up. Heretics, you're going to get some help, fellas. Other Bloodletters are here, going after the Crutox, but they're going to be outnumbered, those Bloodletters. Cool animations on the Crutox. They just kind of swing left hooks at you. And right swipes, it seems. Bloodletters might need to retreat. The Tau have the mid. They've got a big Hammerhead there. Oh, and now we see rail rifles on these guys. Not for the squad leader, though. Oh, he's called a Chasseur also, apparently. He just keeps his, I think he's got an Inferno gun. I think he's got this. I think it's the same Chasseur that the Fire Warriors get, maybe. It's a pretty good Chasseur. Where are these fellas? Oh, those are they got the same portrait. Another great Narlock on the way. That's quite fun. The Mark of Corn fellas have done well, both level 3. This guy's getting their aspiring champion back. Any other war gear we can see? No. Almost got nukes, says the Tenso, so we may see an Imperial Abyss in the next engagement. There's the Great Unclean One. He should do well. I mean, there's a bunch of power melee and there's heavy melee on the Crutox Riders, but I don't think they've got enough of it to threaten him by themselves. 93 to 284 on the VPs. Oh, I think he cancelled the Great Narlock. He's going for another broadside. That's a Barracuda strafing run there. Healing drones called in. That's from the Crisis Commander. I think they're only 100 red. And they do percentage-based healing and some health regen. It's quite nice. Lasts for 20 seconds or so, I think. Okay, so Mark of Corn CSM. Now there's Heretics running away. Mark of Corn CSM is still here. Can they wipe these Crutox Riders? Maybe the Great Unclean One can get on retreat path. Gets a hit. Bow Snare. There it is. Okay, those guys are dead. Crutox Riders are down. 22 red you get for those guys. Level 4 Fire Warriors. Using their... I think that's the Talisera buff. That orange circle, which isn't helping them shoot the Great Unclean One. They don't want to slow down their fire rate. Imperial Abyss. Oh, that might wipe those guys. Yep, Fire Warriors wiped. And those were high level, fully upgraded Fire Warriors. Or max level. Hammerhead is still here, level 2 now. Killing Heretics. Havocs. These guys still have Heavy Bolter. Terminators go back for some healing. Here comes a Chaos Pred. I don't know if I'd get a Chaos Pred. There's still 2 of these missile guys. There's the Hammerhead that's going to outrange you. And 2 broadsides here. Something in Plague Marines. More Havocs or something. Here we go. Gonna get rear arm hit. Boom. How much damage that did. Can he get a couple more? It's alive. Looks like it's the Tau that get it. Crisis Commander now level 5. Plague Champion is down level 6. The Crisis Commander, of course, who has more... This is in base form. More health. More range DPS. More melee DPS. More foot speed. And he can jump. But it's, the Plague Champion's fine. Don't worry. He can... His Heretics can worship or something. Here come Crisis Battle Suits for Piano. They're those scary tier 3 guys that can get a bunch of cool weapon options. I imagine we're going to see plasma rifles on them here. And maybe the missiles as well, because the missiles are auto-cannon damage. Here's some more drones that were called in. Heretics fighting the Crisis Commander. Mark of Corn fellow trying to chase around it. Oh, is that equalized? Maybe that's equalized there. That's why they're moving so slowly. Kicking off in the mid, is it? What are you guys shooting at? Oh, Sorcerer's in there. Sorcerer's down. Great Unclean One vomits on the broadside. who just walks away as he can't retreat. Here's those Crisis battle suits. Yeah, plasma rifles in already. Almost 25 DPS per model. And they can get the missile pod on the left arm now. Huge DPS. These guys can jump, but they can't retreat. The broadsides can't even jump. Chaos Predator on the way for MrCrow and for the Tenso, but both of those heroes are down. Ethereal also down, was torn apart by the Mark of Khorne CSM, I believe. I'm pretty sure these guys can retreat. It has been used to hold these guys up, I think. Yeah, and he can't really hit them that well while they're moving around, I think, with this fragmentation projector thing. It's going to hit them sometimes, though. Here comes a great Narlock, maybe. Maybe we'll keep it going this time. Oh, Phobos on the way. And there's another Chaos Pred. There's the remains of the Devilfish still. 66 to 205. I'll get a dog to sit on the right VP. That's a lot to spend on something just to defend your natural VP. But I guess their VPs are quite low. Tenso says wait. Wants MrCrow to wait for the Phobos. This guy's getting the anti-vehicle Marco Zinch. Grand Kumon being sneaky, infiltrated by those heretics. Vespers jumped into it. Trying to get on that VP, I guess. Still no plasma from the Crisis Commander. Especially when there's Terminators there, eh? And Toilailee never upgraded his double fire wars. I don't think he even gave them the Chassis. Didn't get their veteran, didn't get their pulse rifles. 2-to-1 cap though for the Tau. Crisis battle suit's a bit too far forward. They need to jump out here. There's some disruption from the Crisis Commander, but there's a jump. They're jumping out. Who's this thing? 65 to 1. Oh, it's the healing drones coming in from the Crisis Commander. Those guys getting slowed. Oh, inhibitor drone, I think, from the Pathfinders. Doesn't last too long, eh? It's a big slow, but it doesn't last a huge amount of time. We've got autocannon havocs here now. These Crisis battle suits still trying to get out. Broadsides being chased down. Both of these broadsides might go down here. Is that Touch of Noble? I think there's Touch of Noble on those fellas. Yeah, both of the broadsides fall. Got a cool death animation. Crisis battle suits do make it out. And it's a Riptide on the way. They are looking into tweaking the Riptide's run animation. In fact, I already saw one. I already saw a different one in the dev Discord that looked a lot better. Not sure how easy it is to get in the game. Tau need this Riptide to do a huge amount of work, and I don't think it's going to be able to. Grand Kumon can just mess it up in melee. Can jump away, I suppose. I forgot the tank, says Piano. I think he's talking about his hammerhead that went down. Don't think we have the wreck of that anymore around. Nurgle Shrine up again. More broadside for Toilailee. Narlock twiddling his thumbs, if he has thumbs, on the VP there. Down to 35 though, the blue team. Crisis battle suits getting shot up. They have 1,500 hit points of heavy infantry armor each, which sounds like, I mean, it is a lot, but in a late game match there could be so much stuff to damage them. Those crew carnivores are done for. Free up some upkeep, I guess, for Toilailee. Stun drones getting shots in. Hey, look how often they fire. How much damage do they do? I don't think it tells me on a tooltip. No, it says you get the snare. It doesn't tell me. It doesn't tell me. Down to 12 VPs. One last push for the Tau. Don't think it's going to be enough. The Riptide's in there, but he's getting messed up. And if he uses his abilities too quickly, he overheats. There he is. He just overheated, so he's going to drain health now. 1-to-1 cap. How is he getting health back? Does the Riptide regenerate health? Seems a bit weird. It's not a Wraith Lord. Nuke dropped in there for MrCrow. See his health going up a little bit from his natural regen. I didn't know he got regen. Bunch of GGs. Can they get the Riptide down? They couldn't quite do it in the end. The Tau team conceding. Had some heavy losses. But they still massively threatened with their ranged firepower, didn't they? But we saw the power of melee. Get on those broadsides, you get on those crisis battle suits, they can't stand against you, they can't retreat. And they can have problems. Was surprised to see Toilailee not get any upgrades for his fire warriors though. May have fared a bit better against the double Mark of Khorne fellas if they were around to pump out that DPS. Also no plasma for the crisis commander, who's fallen over. It says he's dead, but he's got 16 hit points, which is a bit weird. Okay then. Well, there you have it, guys. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see ya next time.